Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show. Meet the trusted experts who will give you straight answers and will help guide you on the path of later life care. Now, here's your host, founder, caregiver, and CEO, Suzanne Newman.
And welcome everyone to Answers for Elders radio network, heard across the USA. And we are always here to help guide families and seniors on the path to later life care. And I know for me as a daughter that took care of my mom in the early stages, before I even started doing radio or anything like that, one of the things I was always careful and mindful of is, how do I keep her safe? What do I need to do while my mom was aging and still at home? And we all have busy careers and we all do things. And so this topic in the month of April, we're talking about aging in place. And that's kind of a coined term, but it's something that's really, we need to pay attention to. If you're over the age of 50, what are your plans? Number one. Number two, if you're 40 something and you have a senior parent that's still at home, that's a whole big conversation that needs to happen, because you never know what could be a danger in someone's home, whether it's a throw rug where they fall or anything like that. And so I always am excited when I hear about new innovations. And for those of you that are listening to the show, this is something I think that is so worthwhile for anyone to listen to. And I want to introduce Lindsay Friedman and Shannon Lyons, both the C-level executives of an organization called CareBloom. And welcome, ladies, to the program.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having us.
You know, Lindsay and Shannon, I have been on your website. I have learned a lot. And I think one of the things, your product is all about monitoring and keeping seniors safe if they fall or if they don't take a regular medication. There's a lot of indicators. And so I'm just curious, before we get into your program and what you do, tell us a little bit about how this all happened.
So I will actually take that one. I am the founder of CareBloom.
Lindsay, yeah.
Yes. And so I actually, all through college, I was a state tested nursing assistant. So with the experience, when my grandma needed a family caregiver, I got designated to take that role.
Mm-hmm.
So while she was in Cleveland, where we are from, I was taking care of her in the home, but she did want to go back to Florida, where once she got to Florida, we got her aides. So she had
Mm-hmm.
around the clock help. And, you know, my grandma would complain to me and say, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not there when I wake up at night. And I would say to her, okay, well, we're going to ask, because I do know, like, having been in the industry, it's a problem. I mean, unfortunately, lack of care runs rampant through that industry. And so we went to the caregivers and asked them, are you doing this? And they were saying, she's confused. It's nighttime. And, you know, she was getting older. She was already in her 90s. So that could be the case. Well, one night she was calling out for them in her room and asking them to come and help her. And they couldn't hear because they were asleep in her guest bedroom down the hall.
Oh my goodness.
So she decided to get up on her own to go use the restroom, and she fell and she broke her femur. And that ended her time at home. It ended up being what caused the end of her life. And, you know, my story is a common one. It is more common than not. So I decided that, you know, there has to be something that we can do to make sure that grandma and mom can be home. And so that was when I decided I've got to do something. And that's where CareBloom was born.
And, you know, Lindsay and Shannon, one of the things I find that's really powerful about what you're saying is, you know, we know that 90% of seniors want to stay independent as long as possible. And it's a very, you know, life-changing transition to move into a higher level of care and to find ways that they can stay safe in their home. They can stay there longer. It is actually more cost effective to do that. There's all kinds of things. But one of the big challenges I think that's so cool about what you guys do is your system, your program. You've designed a program that's not only amazing, but it's discreet. It's not like in your face. Like I walked into places, there's big, things on the counters and, you can see, lots of different things like that. And I think one of the things that's really cool is you guys have developed a technology that just keeps it discreet so that really nobody knows that there's a monitoring system in the home. And that's what's really cool. Yeah. So, obviously you started this whole program. So tell us a little bit what Care Bloom is.
Yeah, you're right on. When you talk about just, being discreet, that's really important. So it is a monitoring system. Your loved one wears a watch and actually looks very similar to a Fitbit. So this is not a medical device. It's very cool looking. And there's actually a lot of really lovely data that most people actually get in tune with. Like, what do my daily activities look like? So that's a watch. Each room has a anchor, which is connected to an outlet. So you just plug it into an outlet in each of the room that you want monitored. You have a gateway, and that gateway sends all of the information to your app. So as a caregiver, you'll use the Care Bloom app, and it really gives you a snapshot of what your loved one's daily activities are and their health status. So really quick, you're able to see in one sort of page, everything's green, mom's good to go, and you can go about your day. It's really just, it's more insight than we've ever had in some ways in our daily behaviors. And so you can also send reminders to your loved one that goes to their watch. So mom, hey, it's time to take those meds. And so we're really looking at care plan compliance. We're looking at supporting healthy behaviors and making sure that there's some accountability. So if your loved one does have a home health worker, you can actually designate tasks for that worker and confirm that it occurs. So if medication should be taken at 10 a.m., they should be checking into the kitchen and taking that med. If mom's not in the mood for a shower, they're able to say, hey, you know what? She was not in the mood to take a shower today. It did not occur. So that the next day when the home health worker comes, they know what that week looked like.
Wow.
So it's a lot of interesting data.
Yeah. And so obviously you guys have some hefty goals with this program that you've developed. Tell us a little bit about what's coming up.
So our largest goal, which really is probably impacting all of your listeners right now, is we're trying to improve the process of caregiving. If your listeners aren't a caregiver now, they
probably will be or be cared for.
Yeah. So almost everyone in this country at some point with this aging population is going to become a caregiver. And it is hard work and it can become expensive and draining. And so we're really here to help make that process as painless as possible while allowing their loved ones to stay in the home, to be comfortable, and to be safe. So we are trying to improve that quality of life for the people who really deserve it most. And we're ensuring peace of mind in that process for everyone involved.
And when you think about, like you're talking about making caregiving easier, that's, I think, the goal of not only the caregiver, but it increases quality of life for the caregiver, which, we've seen so many caregivers go down the rabbit hole because they give up their lives. They end up being this sacrificial lamb to care for someone. And there's the anxiety process, all of these things. You guys are so able to create a better quality of life for those that are caring for loved ones. And you can continue your job or your career. You don't have to give up your life. In many, many, many cases. Moving forward, we are going to talk about in this hour a lot more about how Care Bloom works. But in the meantime, ladies, how do we reach you and what can we find on your website?
Yeah, so you could reach us. So our website is carebloom.com. That's carebloom.com. There's a lot of information on there about the technology, how it works, and really some of the data that you'll be able to see. Right now, we have a wait list open. So if you want more information, go ahead and sign up, and we're thrilled to reach out.
And Shannon, you guys have a promotion going on right now for our listeners.
Yeah, we sure do. So we're actually really thrilled to say that we're going to be giving away 2 Care Blooms for a year. So we're going to do a drawing in June and we're going to do a drawing in September. Go to our website, again, that waitlist information. So if you click on the waitlist button, go ahead and put your information in there. Let us know that you heard about us on Answers for Elders. And we're going to do a drawing. There's no purchase necessary. There's no commitment. And so go ahead in there and sign up.
Fabulous. And so we're all going to be excited to hear more about Hair Bloom right after this.
We at Answers for Elders thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.